As a public defender, Judge Karen fought for her client's rights. She was elected to the bench because she believes in doing the right thing.
I'm very passionate about helping people, period. Sometimes life pulls you from up here to down here to teach you a lesson. And you're in a valley right now. And there are lessons in this valley. I hope you learn from them.
Objective, independent justice.
You can always turn your life around. If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Rachel Kemp is suing her sorority sister, Sabrina Hopkins, in the amount of $350. Ms. Kemp claims the defendant illegally parked her car and refused to pay the fees after it was towed.
All right, Ms. Kemp, you're suing Ms. Hopkins for $350 because your car was impounded.
Yes.
Is that right? So we were friends?
Yes, we were actually sorority sisters.
Sorority sisters. Okay, so even though you were sorority sisters, were you also good friends?
Acquaintances.
Oh, just acquaintances. Okay, so tell me about this car being impounded.
Sabrina and I went out to a club one night, and we have my car. Sabrina doesn't have a car.
Okay.
So we switch off driving, who is DDing. And that night...
Oh, designated driver?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't have a car, but you've done this before, where you drive, she drinks?
We've been out here about like 8 months or
Right.
so. And since then, we do like every other weekend designated driver switch off.
Right.
However,
it's always... I'm trying to understand.
Yes,
so it's always switched off back and forth. 1 week is your turn, the next week is her turn.
Usually.
And it's her car, though.
Yes,
Okay.
but this time, in this particular instance that we're talking about in court today,
Right.
it was not my turn, but I opted to do it.
Right. Why did you opt to do it?
Because she had this really important guy she wanted to meet at this club.
And she wanted to be drinking.
And she wanted to be drinking.
Oh,
And she
okay.
wanted to...
And she understood that.
Okay.
I did, as I would
and
do the same for her.
I didn't have a problem with doing that because she's my friend.
Okay. All right.
Was.
Acquaintance, you told me. Now we're friends?
I'd love to continue our friendship and get past this.
Okay. Well, let's see if we're going to make it past. So that night, you wanted to meet up with a guy.
Yes.
And Miss Hopkins agreed to drive. And what happened?
Yes, so I went to her place, we pre-gamed, she ended up driving to the club, and then when she dropped me off in front of the club, I asked her to drop me off because I was wearing these super high heels, and she could understand that.
Which I was as well.
Okay, you both were wearing high heels, but
Yeah.
you were gracious enough to drop
Very
her off at the
gracious.
door. Had you ever been to that club before?
We had not. Super exclusive.
Okay, wow. Okay.
So it was a big deal that this guy I was talking to was gonna let me and a friend come and join the table.
Oh, okay. All right. So was it a good night? We had a good time?
We had a great time.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it was fun. So when she dropped me off in front, I told
Right.
her to park on Main Street, and then I waited for her out front, and I had my friend come out and get us when she came, and we had a great time.
Okay. So did you find a place to park?
There wasn't a place to park on Main Street.
Okay.
I looked and looked and looked, and I was worried for my friend. I'm leaving her alone out in the front. We don't know anyone else there.
Right.
I happened to find a spot that was right off of Main Street, right on Canary Street.
Okay.
And I didn't see any signs around, and I mean, it was right off Main Street.
So
I
you
didn't-
parked the car
I parked the
on
car
Canary
there.
Street?
On Canary Street.
Near Main?
Near Main.
Okay. And then you met her. We go back to the club?
We had a great time.
We had a
Yes.
great time. How long were we in the club?
A few hours.
2 hours.
And we were drinking?
She
Yeah,
was drinking.
I was
She was
drinking.
drinking. And what were you doing?
I mean, I can have fun being sober.
I just asked you what you
Sorry,
were doing,
I
dear.
apologize on her.
What were you doing?
We were dancing.
Okay. Did you meet anybody?
I mean, the guys were at the table.
Right. Okay.
I think the big reason is she's very salty that the guy who invited us to the table
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been wanting to reach out to her, and I think that's escalated this issue.
I just feel personally attacked
By what?
by her claims of me being offended by a guy that I've talked to a few times.
Okay, so this is what happened. We walked all the way back to the car, and we hear this noise, and the tow truck driver was like about to pull up her car.
Right.
She
You're
was
talking
very-
about at the end of the night, you see a tow truck driver.
Yes, when we were leaving the club.
Okay.
When
was
we were
very-
walking on Canary Street,
She
not
was,
Main.
she was
Okay.
very drunk and in
Okay.
her very tall heels.
Right.
And so I decided to sprint ahead to fix the situation. So I got there to the tow truck driver, Kevin, and I was like, hey, Kevin.
Did you know Kevin?
I did not know Kevin.
Oh, okay.
I did not know Kevin.
Okay.
Very, very sweet guy, though. And I was asking him, I was like, hey, this has never happened before. I didn't see the signs. We all know how confusing the signs can be in
So
LA.
you started trying to talk the tow truck driver out of towing the car.
And he Agreed.
How is it that you made it there before she, oh, because you said she had been drinking.
She was very drunk.
Right. How much had you been drinking?
An average amount for having a good time.
I don't know what that is.
I would say maybe 4 or 5 drinks.
4 or 5 drinks?
4 or 5 drinks.
How much did she drink?
Probably 8, 9, 10. I don't know. Shots? Yeah, we took at least 4 shots.
Excuse me, you don't talk to each other, you talk to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming up on Supreme Justice.
He wasn't letting your car go.
No, and he was rude, and I then became upset because I didn't have the X amount of money, which ended up to be $350.
To get it out of the tow.
To get my car back.
And later,
Your Honor, that is exactly what I was telling him.
Right.
He could have possibly lost his chain at the club
Right.
or at his room. But I have no reason to steal the chain when I bought the chain with my own money.
You bought both chains.
Right.
Well, now it's just your word against his word.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Rachel Kemp, who is suing Sabrina Hopkins for towing fees.
Okay, so now she's testified that when she got there, she started talking to this tow truck driver, don't take the car. And did you get there too?
So I walk up and
Okay.
she's canoodling with this man, talking very closely with him.
Right.
And
Well, this was a tow truck driver. You realize that, right?
Yes,
It was your car, right?
Yes,
You
and the
realize that.
chains
You
are on
realize
my
that
car.
the driver was intending to take your car.
yes,
Okay.
already started.
Right.
The chains were hooked up to my wheels.
Okay. He had the chains on your car.
Yes.
Okay. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. Then what happened?
So as I walk up, I go to this man and I asked him what he was doing and if there was anything we could do to stop it, or we were just asking him nicely to not tow the car because we were there.
Oh, so
and
now you're both asking him nicely, don't tow the car. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. When, at the beginning, I was very kind.
Right.
Yes, I was drunk, but I was not.
Right. So you're saying,
rude.
please, sir, please, don't tow my car.
Yes,
And the
at first
defendant
I-
is also saying,
Exactly
please,
how
sir,
it went.
please, don't tow our car.
Yes, I was
Please,
asking kindly
begging.
for a favor.
You were begging.
No, that's not anything what happened.
What happened?
She came up, she's like banging on this poor guy's tow truck. He's a nice guy, being so belligerent, calling him names that I
did not
honestly
hit the
cannot
truck.
say in this courtroom.
Okay.
So horrible.
And so what happened?
So finally he was like, I need to show this girl a lesson, and he ended up towing the car. I had the situation figured out.
I can't believe two good-looking girls like you in the middle of the night on Canary Street couldn't have convinced that tow truck driver not to
Can
tow
you
that
imagine
car.
how
I've never
belligerent
heard
she
a
must have
case
been?
of someone stopping mid-tow to let a car go anyways.
I had it happen to me on South Beach.
There you go, you just gotta be a
And I
little friendly.
wasn't a judge at the time. I just said, please. I couldn't afford $250 to get my car out of tow. And yeah, he let it down off the truck. So yeah. So, but you're saying that with all the begging and eyelash flashing and everything, he wasn't letting that truck go. He wasn't letting your car go.
No, and he was rude, and I then became upset because I didn't have the X amount of money, which ended up to be $350.
To get it out of the tow.
To get my car back.
Out
yes.
of the impound.
We just moved like 8 months ago, and rent is very expensive out here.
So you think what, she should pay you back for having your car impounded?
I believe so because she illegally parked my car. She was driving, she parked my car where it was a restricted residential area.
And she should have known better.
And she can read the signs I have.
Let me see pictures of the signs. Let me see the pictures of the signs.
The sign clearly states that it is permit parking any other
Right.
day besides for Monday through Friday.
Did you see
from-
this? You didn't notice this sign?
I didn't notice the sign.
Okay.
Your Honor, it was dark. That was further down the street. I was right at the turnoff from
Right.
Main and Canary.
I would understand maybe a first month in LA with difficult signs, but 8 months in and a graduate
I
of
don't have a
college,
car.
I would believe that she would be able to figure out where she could park.
Who's Kevin Mansfield?
My witness.
All right, court calls Kevin Mansfield. Come forward and be sworn, please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Put your hand down. So, Mr. Mansfield, were you the tow truck driver the night of this incident that we're here about?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you know this lady here before that night, the defendant?
Not before that night, Your
Did
Honor.
you know the plaintiff?
No, I did not.
Okay, tell me what happened when you first came into contact with these ladies.
So when I first met Sabrina,
Right.
I was actually about to put the chains on the car.
You didn't have the chains on yet.
I did, Your Honor.
You had the chains on the car.
Yes.
So she came over, what happened?
So we had a little bit of a discussion, and I decided to be a very nice person.
Did you
and
see the plaintiff yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, then what happened?
And so I decided to just go ahead and let them go, and I was taking off the chains and
Right.
everything. When she came in, and she
Okay.
was extremely rude.
The
She co-
plaintiff?
Yes.
What happened when the plaintiff came up? So I just want to understand, at that point you were deciding that you were going to take the chains off, you were not going to tow the car.
No, I was not going to tow the car at that time until
Okay, then. The plaintiff came up and then what happened?
she started arguing with me. She called me every name in the book.
Like
she called
what
me,
was she calling you?
She called me idiot. She called me just things I can't even say in this courtroom.
Right. And then what'd you do?
I couldn't let it go. I decided to tow the car. She was disrespecting me.
Right. Did you
and-
tell her if you don't stop talking, I'm going to tow this car?
Yes, I did.
Absolutely not.
Okay, and
As
did
if
she
she would
keep
remember.
talking?
She continued to argue with me.
Right.
And she got aggressive. She started banging on the,
I did not hit your car.
yes, she did.
I believe him because you are rude and you keep interrupting. So ordinarily, I would have said that because she was the custodian of your car, she had an obligation to park your car in a safe place where it wouldn't get towed. But because she had arranged for your car not to be towed, and your car was coming down off the chains, it was your own behavior that led to your car being towed. And that's why you had to pay $350. I'm ready to rule. Judgment for the defendant. Good luck to you both.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I am truly disappointed in how this case turned out, and I don't know if we can continue our friendship.
I really hope we can just get past a stupid $350 fine and be friends again.
Coming up,
It became more of just drinking. Like he would like started doing drugs, cared more about like the clothes and like, you know. And
Is that right?
That's correct. I mean, we was making money, so that's the lifestyle of a rapper.
closed captioning provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Don Bonsward is suing his cousin Bronson Clark in the amount of $1,450. Mr. Bonsward claims Mr. Clark entered his hotel room and stole a sentimental piece of jewelry, and he wants to be reimbursed.
Mr. Bonsward,
Yes.
you're suing Mr. Clark for $1,450, charging him with civil theft of a bracelet. Is that right, or is it a necklace?
it's a necklace.
A necklace. So what's your relationship?
We're cousins.
Cousins.
We're cousins. Like, so what happened? How did you get this necklace in the first place?
So we were in the music industry. You know, we started to build a name for ourselves.
Right. What are you, musicians?
Rapper.
You're a rapper. You're a rapper too?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did we come to buy this necklace?
Well, so when we launched our first mixtape, we kind of got our necklaces to kind of commemorate it.
Okay.
You know, he would wear one, I would wear one. And it was
Did they
kind of-
match?
Yeah, they were the exact same.
Exact same.
There you go.
So you each bought matching necklaces.
I bought the necklaces.
You bought them for the two of you?
Yes.
Okay.
After our first mixtape dropped, he started to drink. He started to like go out. He got more caught up in like the allure of being an artist as opposed to
Right.
the art itself.
Oh. Was he not drinking? Were you not drinking before?
No, I've always been drinking.
Were you always
I mean, we
drinking?
just came out with a mixtape. We celebrating, so why not go
Right.
to the club and start
Right.
drinking?
But like it became more of just drinking. Like he would like started doing drugs, cared more about like the clothes and like, you know. And
Is that right?
That's correct. I mean, we was making money, so that's the lifestyle of a rapper.
Yeah, but a lot of people go down because of the drugs.
They do, but I'm also in self-control.
Right, that's what they all say. What kind of drugs?
Meth, cocaine.
Drugs are expensive. How you paying for all these
They are.
drugs?
The mixtape, it was blowing
How
up.
much money did you make off this mixtape?
we netted her honestly about 30.
Okay, so about $15,000 a piece.
Yes, Your
Okay, all right, but $15,000 really is not a lot of money.
It's really not.
Coming up,
Well, now, you know what? I got an idea. Would you be willing to submit to a lie detector test?
Yes, yes I would.
closed captioning provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Don Bonsword, who is suing his cousin Bronson Clark for theft.
Okay, so what happened with the chain?
One day he just didn't have it on. So I confronted him, like, yo.
Why don't you have your chain on? Why didn't you have your chain on?
I had lost my chain.
Oh, you lost your chain?
Yes.
Yeah. And so.
Where did you think you lost it?
I lost it at my girlfriend's house.
Okay.
But we flash forward to, we went to Vegas for my birthday.
Okay.
And I may have had a little bit too much to drink. I went to sleep that night with my chain on, woke up the next day, it was gone.
You were with him?
Well, it was our group of people.
How many folks were there?
Throughout the night, it varied, but we go with like a core of like 4 or 5 people.
Right,
like
but is everybody sleeping in that same hotel room?
No.
Okay, so, but you fell asleep in the hotel room.
Yeah.
This is after he lost his chain.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we basically both have lost our chains.
Right, except for the next time I saw him, he had his chain.
Why does that seem strange to you?
Because he stole my chain. And so
well, how do you know he stole your chain? You lost your chain after he lost his chain.
But I did not, I like to keep everything ordered. I'm
right,
a very,
but you
very
had too much
person.
to drink, maybe.
Your Honor, that is exactly what I was telling him.
Right.
He could have possibly lost his chain at the club or at his room. But I have no reason to steal the chain when I bought the chain with my own money.
You bought both chains?
Right.
Well, now it's just your word against his word. You need to come up with evidence. The law says the burden is on you to come up with the greater weight of the evidence. And I don't feel any great weight of evidence coming from the side. Well, now, you know what? I got an idea. Would you be willing to submit to a lie detector test?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Okay. We're going to take a break.
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
The results of the lie detector test are in, Your Honor.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so we have the results. Well, you know, lie detector test results are not admissible in court. And so you're agreeing, though, to abide by these results.
Because I know
allow
for a
me
fact.
to rule based on these results.
I know for a fact I did not steal
You know
the chain.
you didn't do it. Okay,
Correct.
well, let's see what they say. There were 2 other questions. What's your name? And you answered your name. And there was a 99% chance that was true. And is the plaintiff your cousin? And you answered yes. And that was 99% true. But the did you steal the chain answer no is only it's 89% chance that it's a lie.
Well, I'm willing to retest.
No, we're not doing any retest. You said you'd abide by this. But the
Why would
point
I steal a
is
chain
that
that's
because
not mine?
I don't answer questions, I ask them. You're the one that told me that you've been doing drugs. And usually when people start doing drugs, the first thing they do is they steal. They'll steal from their own mamas.
I don't even have a record. I would never steal.
Judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,450. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,450.
Now that the lie detector said that you did steal my chain, I hope we can move past it and become cousins again.
Well, even though I know for a fact I did not steal your chain, I'm willing to move past it.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.